Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are dealing with connectivity between MySQL and Python server. So till now, what we have been dealing in, oh my god guys, it's literally so cloudy that it's going to rain any single moment right now. Feel like it's so damn cloudy and so windy right now. Whatever, distractions, keep away all the distractions and focus on your studies, right? That's how we go. Okay, so this much time, I mean, like for the past few years, we've been learning Python algorithms and different types of codes, the prime number and all those dictionary codes we have done. But almost 100% of the code we do, and when we find the output and when we cancel that code and when we reopen it, it just goes, the entire stored data goes. When I give a variable x for a Python code and when I close it, when I open it, the variable is gone. You have to input another variable. It's not saved permanently because it is saved in RAM, random access memory. So random access memory is a temporary memory that when you close it just finishes. And if you have a good RAM, you can run programs very well, but it's just a temporary RAM. So you need secondary storage devices like your HDD or SD to store permanently the data. So right now we will be dealing in how to store these databases permanently, and we'll be using a third-party software. It's called MySQL. So MySQL runs on SQL language. So what is SQL? SQL in all caps is called a structured query language. It's a language which is non-procedural. That means you don't need to do any coding or anything, or you don't need to give a set of instructions to run a command or anything. You just have to command it and it will do the activity for you. So it's a non-procedural language. This language can be used for manipulating the data, accessing the data, retrieving the information from a database, etc. etc. Okay, good. Now we know SQL. We need to find the RDBMS, that is the Relational Database Management System, which uses SQL. And there are many such applications. Examples of RDBMS like Oracle, Microsoft Access, MySQL, and etc. But we'll be now focusing on MySQL. And always know MySQL is different from SQL. SQL is a language while MySQL is an RDBM is an application. RDBM is an application that is used to store databases. Cool. Now MySQL, this guy is really special because you can use MySQL. You can use MySQL to store databases, and these databases are stored permanently. So now, when I close Python, I want the data to be saved. So how do I directly connect Python to MySQL? Because MySQL uses the SQL language, Python uses Python language. If I put SQL language in Python code, it won't understand. So I need to make some sort of connectivity between them. What did I say? Connectivity. I need to make some sort of connectivity there. So what will I do? First and the foremost thing is we need to install MySQL connector. And for that, it's a simple task. It's really simple, but you have to be very sure that when you're downloading Python SQL connector, that it goes directly to your Python file, and it must be able to search a Python file. So you have to go to command prompt and type this statement. It's called pip install MySQL in small letter and dash connector. That's all you have to do, and when you run that command, you're gonna get successfully installed blah blah blah. And one more thing I want to mention is MySQL is not case sensitive. That means if you write small letter create and full caps create, both are same, so it doesn't matter. It's not case sensitive. And when you do that step, you have already installed the MySQL connector. Now we'll be writing the Python code to actually connect Python to MySQL, so that when I write MySQL in Python, Python understands it and goes to the backend, which is MySQL. See, MySQL is considered as backend because right now I store my databases inside this. Okay, I store my databases inside this. So when you saying is something, I'm putting it back inside it. Okay, let's make it easy. My backend is right now my brain, and right now what I'm speaking is my front end. That means you're going to see the words I speak is coming from my mouth. That's going to be a front end because that is what you're going to see. But you don't know what it's seeing in the back end because back end is my database which is stored in the brain. Same like that. In MySQL, that is a database which users like you guys won't see because it's stored in database and only administrators and developers can control it. But what you're going to see is front end. Front end is Python. Python is Python is the GUI which is going to be presented in front of you. So now we'll be writing the code for how to connect Python and MySQL so that you can run MySQL commands in Python and Python understands it, and then it can go to MySQL as a backend and manipulate the data. First thing is we want to import a module. Okay, so we're going to call it MySQL.connector. It's very important. You could ask for board exam. First and foremost thing is import small letter MySQL.connector. Okay, this is your first code you have to write, and I'll just put it as M for the sake of simplicity. So the M is going to be MySQL.connector. So I don't need to write MySQL.connector every single time I do, you know. And now next step I want to do is I want to make a pathway. So that I establish the connection. But I'm not connecting yet. I'm just making a path to connect. You get it? If I need to walk to a certain destination, I need to make a path towards it. So I'm like, you're going to take the gravel out or take a shovel and pave the path. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a pathway. So to make a pathway, we use the dot connect. Okay, dot connect. So I'm going to put M. If you want, you can do MySQL.connector dot connect parenthesis, or you can just write because I have given as M over here, so I can go like my dot connect and see. We'll be giving 3 more variables, keywords over here. It's not variables, it's not 100% compulsory variables. Usually you can give 4. The fourth one is not mandatory. It's you have to give that. Wait, I'll tell you. So first thing you want to give is host. Everyone's host is going to be a local host. Okay? Everyone is going to be a local host. And second thing you want to give is your user. So your user depends on what you give it when you install MySQL initially in your desktop. So you can change it, but default is going to come root. So I'm going to write user as root, but it depends upon your device. Right now, my device might be stored as root, but it might be not in your device. So write the users which is there in your device. So user is equals to root, and then the password. Please note, we're not going to write password in full, but we'll be writing PASSWRD. It's a keyword. Password could be anything that you will be giving when you install MySQL. And the fourth one, this is not mandatory. Okay, fourth one is not mandatory. It's not compulsory. The fourth one is basically, let me just see if I can find it. Yeah, fourth one is basically the name of the database. If I want to give database is equals to name of the database, but I only will give that if I have already made a database in MySQL. But what if I never created a database? So we don't need to do that. And as I'm doing it for the first time, obviously I have not created any database or any tables in MySQL, so I don't need to give that. So now we have created a pathway. We created a pathway. Second thing is we need to do the cursor. cursor is asking Python, you are begging Python, bro, can I run SQL commands now? Because you are going to not face any Python commands, you're going to face SQL commands. It's a way of warning Python, telling that I'm going to write SQL commands. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to write, you can give any variable you want, okay? I'll just write cs equal to m dot cursor. Okay, we're asking Python for perms. M dot cursor. And now this is where we're gonna write our MySQL language. The code. But it's not a code, it's just a language. And this is where I'm going to write MySQL language, which is known as structured query language. Cool. So you can give any variable you want. I'll be giving any variable I want. Oh no, we don't need to give any variables in this, I'm sorry. We don't need to give any variables in that. And what I'll do is cs dot execute, and here we're going to write our SQL language in quotes, and Python will interpret those. They will do it, they will do the job, and they will go to the backend and update it. So right now I want to create a database. So what I will do is I'll just simply say execute create database, create database student. Now if I run that, and if I go to MySQL, login with my ID and password, an Oli password, and if I go and type the command to check the databases, what is the command here? Show databases. If I type show databases in SQL, I must see a database named student because I just created it. I just created that bomb. And if that works, we already established a connectivity between MySQL server and the Python server. Thank you.